Alright, so how not to practice. This is a little series I'm doing. So, first step in how not to practice is don't always play the same thing. Which is kind of a funny way of saying you gotta challenge yourself. You gotta do new things all the time. You have to always be learning new stuff. Alright, so let me know if you've ever experienced this. Damn, my strings are crazy. Alright, I gotta clip those sometime. Alright, let me know if you've ever experienced this. You're practicing, and everything you're doing, you've already done. And you do it every single day. And it's kind of become routine at this point. And you're very comfortable with what you're doing. And to the point where you're not even really thinking about it anymore. And there's like a certain level of, satisfaction in that in a way. Because you're like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing. And you're not really getting any worse. Which is like kind of nice in a way. But you're also not really getting any better. Which is not very nice. If you're worried about, getting better. Most of us are. Most of us want to get better and improve and make progress in the instrument. But if you find that you're practicing the same thing all the time, you might want to switch that up and not play the same thing all the time. There's a lot of different ways to challenge yourself. So you can challenge yourself in the sense that you learn new things. Learning new things all the time, that is extremely powerful. I've been going to Berkeley for like 2 years now or something like that, and I have learned so much in this 2 years. Obviously, it's Berkeley. And my guitar teacher, he's always pushing me to go outside my comfort zone. Sometimes when I hear him talking about it, and he's teaching me all these things, honestly, sometimes it makes my head hurt. Like, sometimes my brain will just shut off because there's so much that he's teaching in one lesson. That usually doesn't happen like that, but every now and then it does. But it's a good hurt because it makes me grow. So always learning new things. And one thing I will say is that in the 2 years that I've been going to Berkeley, I have been getting better faster than ever before on guitar. And it's no wonder, because I'm constantly pushing myself. Like, think of it this way. When you were just starting out guitar, when you were really young, everything that you did was a challenge. And you were constantly learning new things. And through that process, you got better and better and better. So let's just say you've got to the point where you are at a place where you're pretty good at the guitar. You can play stuff, you're functional. You don't really run into like huge roadblocks, and you're playing, let's just say, the same stuff over and over again. So you definitely want to switch it up and start to play just something a little different. It doesn't even have to be like a huge thing. You could just make a little difference. Like, today I'm just going to practice bending so the note like hits the exact note when I bend. Just like, you can be creative with it. Like, today I'm going to play with a metronome for 10 minutes on each string, for example. I actually learned that from another channel. I remember specifically, it was a few years ago for me. It was, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, and I was going through kind of a rut. I was going through a phase where I was just kind of playing the same things. And I didn't even really have a practice routine or regimen or anything like that, which is probably a problem. Actually, it's definitely a problem. I was just kind of playing whatever the hell I wanted, but I wasn't really challenging myself. And it really wasn't until I started to focus on certain things, like today I'm going to practice my picking. That's when I really started to see improvements, when I really started to have an intention behind my practice. And think of it as like, I'm doing this for a reason, I'm not just playing whatever. Because it's kind of like whatever attention you bring to it, that's what's going to come out. That's the result that you're going to get. So if your intention is like, oh, I'm just going to mess around, then you're probably not going to get as good a result as if you were to think, I'm going to sit down and do this, I'm going to get friggin' better. So next time you practice, I challenge you to challenge yourself. Like, just come up with just a little thing. Just think of it right now. It's like, what can I add into my practice regimen that's going to benefit me? Maybe something that you need to work on, or even just something that's different. If you're really familiar with the major scale, but you're not familiar with like the harmonic minor scale or whatever, you could say, for 5 minutes I'm gonna learn how to do this thing, or I'm gonna learn theory, a little bit more theory. So always be progressing, always be getting better, always be pushing yourself to get better, because if you don't do that, then you're kind of just gonna stay where you are. And that's really no fun, because so much of the pleasure of playing guitar comes from the progress that we make in it. Not just guitar, but with like anything in life. It comes from the progress that we make. So if we're kind of just like stuck, or we're not really like pushing ourselves anymore, we're getting too comfortable, definitely don't get too comfortable. Definitely don't play the same thing all the time. You know, shake it up a little bit, do something different, and when you do that, I think you'll find that you'll get better and better, and you'll start to actually make more progress that way. Alright, so that was part one of how not to practice the guitar, and so I will see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you liked it, and if you found any value in it, hope you did. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video. See ya.